Definitely a game that keeps on giving. Now, interestingly enough, I don't see a sprite yet for SDiezal. I wonder if this is a late reveal on purpose.
It might be. They're typing their name now, so we have Mog from one of the Final Fantasy games, I think. And we're off.
Well, the uncle not really getting much time to tell us his message. He's going to give us something in the chest. It's 10 arrows to start.
Yeah, and this is, if you've been keeping up with the tournament so far, you would know that the weapons will be randomized from Uncle, so it's not going to be a sword most likely. We didn't see the Uncle carrying a sword on the way out, so it's not going to be a sword this time. It can be any of the weapons that you can use to get through escape, including bombs and the Cane of Burner, which is two of the more unusual weapons, but we get the Cane of Samari instead. That's an interesting one of the more basic ones, I think, that I've seen at least.
So this weapon will do the same amount of damage as a fighter sword, but you can use it multiple times per placement. The magic's not even that intense either. You only use so much. We're still going to opt to throw some pots here, though, because that is a faster way to kill these guards, or at least DLDarkLink did. SDiezal, not really too worried about that. He already killed them on the way through.
Yeah. And yeah, you talked about the magic usage, and I think that's one of the upside of getting the Cane of Samaria. You can kill a lot of enemies without using too much of magic, so optimizing your chances of getting an extra bomb drop.
And of course, there are added implications from finding this Cane of Samaria early. This is typically kind of a late game item, as far as how progression tends to work. So with that in mind, we may be accessing certain dungeons earlier than we normally would expect to.
Ooh, and there's a sword from the first chest in Escape, so don't really need to use the cane anymore.
Which is really nice, because sometimes, if you just want to block an enemy or something, or there's some situational uses for the cane, but you can keep it equipped and you don't have to worry too much about it. Sword Slash is very familiar and comfortable escape sequence.
Yeah, and especially you talked about the SDiezal, and I know that DarkLink has done a little bit of NMG as well, and having the sword is really nice to have escape then.
Of course, SDiezal's probably kicking himself for not getting that blue guard.
Yeah, well, it happens to everyone sometimes.
Absolutely, I'm guilty of that myself. Thankfully, it's not bombs. We'd be seeing a lot more of that from most runners. Well, this is interesting. It's kind of like NMG in this room. A lot of choices available to our runners. I think SDiezal's going to throw some pots here. I kind of thought he was going to do the 8 slash, but oh, there you go. Opting to do a mixture of slashes and spins and pots.
Yeah, and DarkLink going for double pots, and they're almost synced up again.
Yeah, previous rooms with guards were giving DLDarkLink a little bit of trouble, so SDiezal, despite having a really creative, we'll call it that, a really creative ball and chain guard kill, still is maintaining a bit of a lead here. Well, so one thing to note is none of these prize packs have yielded a bomb yet.
Yeah, it's interesting. They're trying to get that one bomb just because in the back of Escape there is a wall you can blow up to get free extra chest, and it's always nice to get it in your first passing through Escape, so you don't have to backtrack to it. But with the sword, they at the very least have all the options to farm some bombs. There's a lot of rats in the sewers, and they might get some bomb drops from them instead of the guards.
And of course, in some of the rooms where one fire sword slash would be good enough, they may opt to use their Cane of Samaria a bit.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many hits the cane can take before disappearing. It's 4 at the very least, I think.
I thought it was 3, but I've seen 4 recently, so I think it is 4. Looking like SDiezal picking up that one safety heart on his way. Didn't take him very long to do so. Opting to skip the ropes, it looks like.
Yeah, that's interesting. Because this is one of the like easier rooms, so I would call it to farm for bombs just because the amount of enemies.
We do get a bee in a bottle, so B-Torp confirmed that will give a sick kid later, and DarkLink only finding a big 20 in this prize pack with his rats, so having a little bit of trouble here. Looks like SDiezal's finally resigned to looking for bomb drops, but we've already seen the last couple of items in the prize pack. He won't find one from those rats.
Yeah, and it looks like there won't be any bombs for SDiezal. And ooh, DarkLink getting that bomb drop after all, doing a little bit more extra farming on the rats.
Yeah, 50% drop rate from any given enemy for their prize pack. We're getting Ether, Big 20, and Boots as a reward.
Well, that's a pretty good bag of escape.
Well, it only took 6 minutes, but DarkLink's run can now start.
I see what you did.
It's going to be tired eventually, but I'm still finding it funny.
Yeah, I've actually never heard that one before.
Well, I don't think we've seen a map yet, so they should be able to skip this chest if I recall correctly. Nope, we definitely picked up a map.
And there's the bombs from the tree pole. I believe that's the tier 2 tree pole.
Yep, tier 1 would be 1 through 3 enemies killed, then pulling the tree. Tier 2 would be 4 enemies killed while taking damage, and tier 3 is 4 enemies killed, no damage, since your last pull. Oh, Lumberjack's nothing, but Bonk Rock's going to give us our swag net. I think this points us towards Aghanim, of course, right?
It very well might be. They do have the sword, so that's an indicator that Aga could be a thing. Well, SDiezal, as long as they found like a glove in not too long of a future, they can always go back to escape pretty conveniently. But if not, like not having those boots could be pretty bad, like if you don't get him after a very long time. But hopefully that won't be the case.
Yeah, we're pretty much just waiting on Power Glove for SDiezal to have a chance to get back in there. But yeah, you mentioned that you can go the long way, it's just it's a very long walk.
Yeah, like it's not the way you would like to do it, at the very least.
Well, DarkLink getting chased into a big 20 there. Meanwhile, SDiezal with that tier 2 tree pole being bombed, he's able to go right into Kakariko and start exploring all these bombable walls. Whereas DarkLink will be able to save a few bombs.
Yeah, this is the reason why this is like the standard route to take. There's so many chests in Kakariko, so you're bound to find at the very least something that can point you into the next direction to go.
Well, we'll never know if that was Sankart. Actually, DLDarkLink doesn't have full health. Maybe we'll find out. I hate to say it, but in this foot race, I think DarkLink's definitely going to overtake Diesel in just a minute or two here.
Yeah, for every moment that DarkLink can do item checks with the boots while Diesel doesn't, it just gives DarkLink the possibility to do them more effectively. Oh, and there's the Moon Pearl, so that's a good find. They're gonna need it sooner or later.
Wow. Well, that's Moon Pearl and Quake. We do have cash for the bottle vendor. That's going to be bombs for us today, which is, you know, not the best trade, but at least it's not valueless.
Yeah, it's at the very least something you can use, so especially when you don't have too many bombs.
I have to salute that incredible chicken clip. Unfortunately, it didn't go all the way through the wall, but it's definitely clipped in there somewhere.
Yeah, the chicken clip is definitely an interesting thing. Oh, sick kid having the mirror. So that bottle was definitely good value early on.
Looks like SDiezal found some love in the bar. That's a rare thing.
I guess it depends on the bar.
It is a pretty big tavern. Looks like DarkLink's getting his mirror, though. We're going to find out whether or not DarkLink has a gigantic progression advantage here in the library.
Oh, well, you said it, and there it is. I was going to give them access to the Death Mountain.
So, folks, please don't burn me. Well, SDiezal saving and quitting, realizing that he needs those boots, and probably a little concerned about the escape right now, maybe having in the back of his mind, like, I don't have that lift upgrade, and I'm going to need it pretty quick.
Yeah, it's probably going to be on the back of his mind for sure, but I would not be surprised to see them skipping back of escape until they have the gloves. The unfortunate thing would be if that flute actually does lead to the gloves, though, because that would mean that they would have to take the long way back.
SDiezal finding another not sanctuary heart in the dam. He's going to have a soggy item to uncover in just a moment. Though, yeah, I mean, Power Glove on Death Mountain, that'd be like the worst case scenario, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I would say so, I think. So, I would not be surprised to see DarkLink just go to South Shore as well first, before going up to Death Mountain. And yeah, with the flute, can I also check Desert. Like flute and boots, the Desert check or the Agonist check doesn't get much faster than this.
Boots
you
and
don't really
flutes
have any excuse not to check it, I think.
Absolutely. I mean, they rhyme, they go fast. I'm all about the boots and flutes. SDiezal, though, getting knocked off the ledge and taking fall damage or getting hit by the Moldorm and taking fall damage. He's actually going to die in Mini Moldorm Cave.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate. And oh, are you kidding me? Flippers at Agana.
So in the driest part of Hyrule, we find out how to swim.
Yeah, it makes sense, I guess.
Version 29, folks.
Yeah, if there's something I learned about this game, is never question Nintendo logic, so...
Well, it's time for take two, and SDiezal possibly getting taunted a little bit with that bomb drop. Well, the piece of heart has ruined our chance of finding out if that was actually Sankheart.
Yeah, that Sankheart has gotta be hiding somewhere.
The world may never know. In the meantime, DLDarkLink, walking in with his full health, and of course given that also the same bomb drop, will be killing these Mini Moldorms to get not a whole lot here in Mini Moldorm Cave. We still have Ice Rod Cave, though. SDiezal taking a very slow stroll up there.
Yeah, that's another of those locations where both the flute and the boots can do like a This shake is going to be so much faster if you have them.
This has been an interesting progression, though, as far as items go, and kind of hard to say. Boots, flutes, and flips.
That's the perfect accessories to have. I guess boots is not really accessories, but...
Well, they're definitely not made for walking.
That's definitely true.
You know, we're gonna get a fake flipper here.
Yeah, and it's actually in logic as well, so it might be something good.
Not only that, but SDiezal did the unbuffered, he just did sword buffers, actually, to line himself up for that. That's like some NMG instinct just coming through there.
So none of our runners have even close enough to pay Sora right now. They could possibly find it on the way up to Sora, but most likely we will not see Sora be paid off quite yet.
Well, the man under the bridge is going to give us a vanilla bottle, folks.
Yeah, even the content was vanilla, so that's... I always like to see 1 or 2 items vanilla. It doesn't have to be something big.
So I'm sure the canon reason for him doing that is he wants us to go on a beer run, right?
Yeah, he wants us to go to a tavern, but he doesn't know we've already been there.
And we already picked up empty bottles from there. Sorry, I confused this with the vanilla game for a minute there.
Yeah, well, it's hard to tell sometimes. So far, every single item has been vanilla, I think.
Yep, those vanilla desert flippers. Dude, this has been crazy, though. I mean, boots, flutes, flippers, bottles, waterfall caves and sink. We have medallions.
Yeah, it's interesting. We have every single medallion. It's probably going to mean that Meyer and Turtrock is going to be pendants or something.
And the fairy has saved us some cash, Ola, giving us a green potion, and we find out it could potentially be Sankart on Zora Ledge.
Yeah, it could be, but I don't think we're gonna see it, unfortunately.
Oh, Guy in chat pointing out that, yeah, we started with Kane. Kane, you believe it, we actually did have a pretty stacked start, didn't we?
More or less, yeah.
Well, this is interesting. Both of our runners deciding to go to Eastern Palace.
Yeah, I can see it from SDiezal because they don't have too many options right now. But DLDarkLink still has the possibility to go up Death Mountain. It's not too much they can do in Death Mountain. I mean, they can go into Hera, but that might be fire locked, so it's not even guaranteed to get a single item from it.
Interesting. Our green pendant is going to be Skull Woods today, so Fire Rod might be pretty relevant to us. We do get a map check here. We have a pendant at Tower of Hera and one of our 5/6 crystals at Eastern Palace. So if he finds a bow in here, SDiezal's probably going to clear this off, even if he has to do dark rooms. I don't know if I missed it, but did DLDarkLink do the old man?
And no, I think they skipped it, which is interesting. Most runners mostly decide to do it if they have a sword at the very least. Oh, silver's inside of Spectacle Rock. That's interesting. But it's not in logic, so hopefully they won't miss anything important at the moment.
Well, Diesel is making his way through the Eastern Palace, hoping for the combination item here with these silvers that DarkLink's finding. Finding the big key first chest isn't bad at all. You definitely don't have to worry about whether or not you're going to get that big chest on the way through the first time around. And if you do find the bow before then, you could potentially do a gamble and go right for the boss.
Yeah, who knows? We might see a vanilla bow in that big chest.
That would be pretty exciting.
Yeah, it would actually be. So we're still missing both items we need for the Dark World. We do have that sword though, so the possibility of an Aga being required here is still definitely on the table.
Well, moment of truth. Let's find out if today we have a... Nope, it's a compass.
Well, that's a vanilla compass, at least for the dungeon, so...
I am curious, though, as to where the lamp is, because I feel like that is the one thing that would prevent us from finding... Like, we could potentially find bows still here in Eastern Palace in that last chest.
Oh, and Hera is firelocked, so... That lantern might be hiding out on Sora, possibly.
Zora's a possibility. We don't have Hammer. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of limited.
Yeah, I think the only thing we actually do have in logic is Sora at this point, so it doesn't have to be the lamp, but I think it has to be some form of progression.
And the Eastern Palace is a dud. 10 arrows. So, interesting. Yeah, where are we going to get these rupees?
Yeah, well, SDiezal can set up the Houlihan room, but DarkLink having the flippers and not having the gloves, I don't think there's any possibility to set up a Houlihan room with that setup.
Not only that, but most traditional places you can get a lot of rupees from are going to require Power Glove to open. So, I mean, I could think of one really weird backup. You could try doing the basement here, but you'd have to go into a dark room to farm those rupees, not knowing whether or not... Well, I mean, maybe you can make that heads-up decision in the moment, but that's tough.
Yeah, and SDiezal is heading over to the desert. Like, it makes a lot of sense. They're gonna get the flippers. It's unfortunately gonna make it impossible for them to do Houlihan as well, I believe. And but it will tell them that Sora is in logic.
I gotta think at this point, SDiezal's considering going back into Escape after this.
Yeah, I would imagine so as well. Which would be good for them, but they're still gonna need those money sooner or later. Unless there's something on the old man that would let us bypass Sora at the moment.
So maybe like Lampet Zora and Old Man would be the next progression?
Yeah, maybe like Fire Rod or something. You can go to the basement of Hera.
Well, I applaud DarkLink for keeping his flute equipped throughout this dungeon. I'm a little disappointed that he hasn't played the Song of His People yet, though. I'm kind of at a loss as to where this is going to take us next. I mean, SDiezal seems to be feeling the same way, taking a bit of a pause there.
Yeah, we do have access to the boost, so maybe we're gonna get like a very expensive book from Sora.
That'd be terrible. Well, SDiezal has resigned to going into the long way back to those boots, and he has plenty of bombs to work with. He's equipped his bombs. He already has in his mind exactly what he's going to do. He climbed upstairs, though. Yeah, so he's going towards the mantle. For a second there, I thought he was going to go off to the side.
Yeah, so this is gotta be like a bad feeling when you have to go back through the escape again and not being able to take like the shortcut. But they might very well think that their opponent did get a bomb drop as well, because they did a decent amount of farming. And as we can see, SDiezal does have the light cone again, because it stays in escape even after you're done with it the first time. Just in case this happens, you don't get the back of escape.
Well, it certainly took a lot less time to get through there with less enemies to kill and less things to farm, so he's going to find his ether, his 20, and of course the boots. Probably a little upset right now.
Yeah, and DarkLink, this is interesting. They're going to the Rupee Room in Eastern, so they're definitely aware of Sora being the next logical progression.
Well, he's taking a couple hearts of damage, opting to mirror out. Actually, he wasn't that far away from it. He had picked up the pod in the top right corner, just couldn't find the staircase.
Yeah, it's not every day that you practice doing the Rupee Room in Eastern in the dark.
I think it's pretty clear at this point, though, we should be checking some tier pulls here on these trees. Because it's certainly not difficult to get 1 to 3 kills or, you know, reset your tree by pulling it a couple times. Could potentially have big 20s.
Yeah, for sure. We did see a tree pull earlier. It was tier 2, but I don't remember what it was. Oh,
it was bombs.
It was bombs. That's right. But I don't think... Did we see the bush grabs as well?
I believe it was just hearts, but I don't know, actually. I don't remember.
Okay. Yeah, so DarkLink is gonna farm in Blindside. This is a pretty painful farming process to do.
Yep, welcome to 30 rupees per, like, 15 seconds. Maybe more, I don't know.
Yeah, we can time it. It's 49 when he walks into Blindside. And SDiezal has activated his flute as well.
Yeah, this is almost 25 seconds.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, man. Well, that's going to be about another 8 or 9 times, and SDiezal here is doing the old man, you know, fetch. So by bringing him to the top of the mountain, he gets that save and quit point, and also potentially find something, you know, in his sequence break here that could give him motion to get more rupees.
Yeah, if this old man has 300 rupees, this race just turned around.
Kind of crazy how, you know, this changes so quickly, and we're about to find out if this is going to be that exact scenario.
So old man, yes, a piece of heart, so nothing really of value at the moment.
A little love on the mountain, but not what we're really looking for. In the meantime, you didn't miss much on DarkLink's screen. He is going down those stairs. He's going to pick up 30 rupees. He's going to come back up those stairs, and he's going to repeat.
Yeah, SDiezal don't know right now, but they should be inclined to pick up that blue rupee on the way up to Hera. Maybe it saves them one extra trip into Blindside later.
Well, with those silvers, SDiezal's probably feeling a lot better about not having found the bow yet. At least he's going to have pretty good ammunition when he does. But his rupee's not looking that great either. 229, it's going to take him more than 10 trips if he tries to do the same farming method.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I've been lucky enough never to experience this myself. And right now, I know why I've been so lucky not to experience it, because this would not be fun to do, especially not in a tournament race.
I'm kind of wondering what SDiezal's going to do, because he's going to come to the same conclusion. I wonder if he's going to think about his tree pulls.
Yeah, if the tree pulls happens to be 20 rupees, that would be pretty big.
Lost Woods and the Lumberjack area, both really great places to bounce back and forth between. Chaos Lord asking about where the tree poles are. There are tons of tree poles in Hyrule. I know that there's one just south of the Lumberjack tree. There's one in the middle of Lost Woods over by where you can drop down that hole to the left of it. And there's even one in the Hyrule Castle courtyard, but there's a couple other ones I just can't remember. Also, a few in the Dark World.
And if you look at DarkLink's screen, they have passed over 500 rupees. So their shift of farming in Blindside has come to an end. They can finally pay off Sora.
Oh, it sounds like I answered the wrong question. The only tree pole we know about is Tier 2, which is 1 bomb drops.
So it looks like SDiezal was about to go. Yeah. Not sure where they're. Maybe they want to go to desert, but they can't lift up that rock, so they're not going to be able to farm for money there. So what do you think we're going to see from Sora?
I'm expecting a lamp today. I'm just feeling for SDiezal right now. Well, moment of truth, folks. And the hammer! Wow!
Well, that definitely unlocks a couple of new locations on Death Mountain. I think that's 8 new checks they can do.
Absolutely it is, and with the boots, it's a lot easier to do that spiral cave. Curiously enough, we're going to head to the Sanctuary, though, mirroring out to be a little quicker out of this screen. I'm kind of wondering... Well, maybe it's just a little bit... Oh, he didn't do the old man fetch, did he?
Yeah, and he never did that. So it's gonna be interesting to see if he decides to skip it again, because... oh, he might be thinking he has Dark World access, but they don't have Black Velvet yet.
Ruh-roh, that's not good.
Yeah, I think he just realized.
Well, we're definitely going up the mountain, though. SDiezal hitting a wall right now. This is really rough for him.
Yeah, it's not easy sometimes to know where you can farm money. But unless the tree poles has something, and look at that, those 20 rupees just like taunting them. But yeah, I think the tree pole, if it has something good, or otherwise it's probably blindside's the fastest way to do it.
You know, I gotta say, 33 minutes into this race, Link really needs to hit the gym. He can't even lift, bro.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. Not as bad as actually the lifting is.
By the looks of things, I think SDiezal feels like he's missed things. In the meantime, DLDarkLink is on the east side of the Death Mountain, going much faster through the Spiral Cave than it could have been otherwise. Looks like, I thought SDiezal was going to try for the Bush Crab there. He's going to save and quit. Looks like there's just bombs at a Spiral Cave. Well, this is a tough position for SDiezal. He's got to figure out what he wants to do. I mean, he is lamp locked out of, you know, the most reliable dungeon means getting this money.
Yeah, at the moment, deciding to farm from the guards, but that's gonna take a long time to get 500 rupees, unfortunately. So we got a blue cane from the bottom of Paradox Cave that doesn't unlock anything at the moment. So there's gotta be something here. Ooh, there's a hookshot.
Hey.
But that doesn't unlock anything at all as well at the moment. But there's our glove, and that's Dark World access and the Master Sword as well.
Wow, that's a stacked cave. That's a paradoxically stacked cave, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess.
Well,
I'm gonna have to.
So is that bomb jump like a vertical bomb jump?
I think, yeah.
I'm so confused.
I'm gonna have to up my game on puns in this race, I think.
Well, I did get to warm up with the Profe Gamer in my last commentary earlier today. So, yeah, I've had a little bit of warm-up time. Looks like we are going to try to get extra heart before walking into Spike Cave. Wow, this is bold.
Yeah, well, it's in logic. They have a potion. They don't technically even need a potion for it to be in logic, because the blue cane only requires you to have full magic. So it's a good thing to get this out of the way, because you don't want to have it isolated until you get like Titan Smiths.
Yeah, and you're already up here. Definitely a good time to be getting it. SDiezal's down to half a heart trying to farm for this, and ouch. I think he's realizing that route's not going to work.
Yeah, it's saving and quitting Sanctuary, so you might be on the right track here, hopefully.
And of course, we don't really know what those other tier pulls or tree pulls are, but yeah, I think finding out right now is probably the best course of action. He seems to be going after a kill as well. Opting to avoid damage, it looks like. Alright, so this would be a tier 3 pull. I guess we had a tier 3 pull from earlier.
Ooh, Temper Sword from Hype Cave. So, except for that, nothing really of value, but that Temper Sword is pretty nice to have. So DarkLink is gonna have to be a little bit careful not to lose his temper when he gets the gold sword.
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. Definitely a serious concern. You know, that gold sword is marginally better.
Yeah. Going for Swamp Palace here, which is interesting. I mean, they have everything they need to full clear it, so this might definitely be the play to do.
It's bold too. A lot of people are really reluctant about coming through here very early on. So happy to see that from DarkLink. It's a play that when you have that hook shot, there's no reason not to. You know, he has the equipment he needs.
Yeah, and that's where like metagaming comes into the picture as well. You know that your opponent is probably not going to do this early, so if there is anything of value in Swamp Palace, you can have like an item advantage over them for a big part of the game.
Well, first chest, not quite the advantage we're looking for, but definitely a little bit towards our health bar increasing. We don't have any kind of mail upgrade yet, so hearts are still pretty valuable in this race. Nice thing, though, is that we are a little over-equipped for this Dungeons and Tension strategies.
Yeah, the Tempered Sword alone is like the thing that makes Swamp Palace a much better dungeon to do than just having Master Sword, because the boss kill becomes so much faster. So SDiezal is farming here in Bomb Pod, but you're not gonna get a lot of rupees that way, unfortunately. I think there's only like 2 guaranteed rupees per entry.
Yeah, he's trying to get him from the rats, it looks like.
So he's in the right area at the very least, so he might go up to blindside after a couple of entries here.
Now, of course, if he gets a couple, 20 drops, it's actually probably more efficient anyway, but we don't really know what we're going to get from these prize packs.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be a lot of rupees from the rats, unfortunately.
In the meantime, DarkLink does get his big key, so he's going to be able to check this chest immediately. Very nice convenience.
Oh, and once again, we didn't get the Sank Heart, unfortunately.
But we can confirm and deny that it is not the Sank Heart.
That is very true. And this is very unfortunate, like, to see on SDiezal's side. Like, I don't blame them at all, because you don't really prepare to do farming for Sora without the gloves. It's just unfortunate that they're so close as well, like, to blindside.
Yeah, it's really strange to have only Flippers access to Sora, and then be in this position. But I mean, logically, it's very possible. He's gonna try some spin slashes here to get some of these bushes cleared out. Interesting. Looks like DarkLink dove all the way to the back, though. He's gonna go straight for Argus.
Yeah, he did find the map. I'm not sure if they found the compass as well, but there's at the very least one item on the left side of Swamp. So SDiezal does have a bee, but it's not a golden bee, so I'm not sure if you can sell them to the bottle vendor. I think it might only be the golden ones you can sell.
I suppose you could actually go to the Ice Ride Cave and pick up a golden bee from bonking into that statue. You could probably sell those.
Oh, you can get a guaranteed golden bee that way?
I don't know if it's changed in Randomizer, but usually if you bonk into the right side of that cave, there's two entrances, that statue at the end of it, usually that's where you get it.
Huh, I did not know that. I would assume it would be the same, because the fairies are the same and the magic are the same, and the Titans mates are on Argus.
Holy moly!
That's an excellent find.
When it rains on Argus, it pours Titan's mitts. DarkLink has so much Dark World access suddenly, living up to his name, apparently.
Yeah, it's so strange. I don't always get progression in Swamp, but when I do, it's like always the Titan Smiths.
Well, SDiezal has improved his rupee collection rate by quite a bit by dropping into this well. This actually isn't that bad of a way to do it, but it's definitely slower than Blindside still.
Yeah, this way, at the very least, they're on a good path to get it, but I think they actually realize now that, wait, I can go into Blindside. There's even more rupees in Blindside.
Well, I'm really glad that he remembered that. SDiezal definitely going to find the rupees he's looking for here.
Yeah, DarkLink has definitely gotten a head start here, but SDiezal is on the right track now. Oh, and DarkLink doesn't have enough rupees.
Get you baited.
Yeah, and trying to cheat on the race game as well.
Finish line operator there having none of that. Well, it's definitely a good time to head towards the Village of Outcasts, though, for DarkLink. Diesel, in the meantime, rapidly approaching his Zora money. We're going to get a first entrance into Thieves Town with the Smith chain, interestingly enough.
Yeah, it's very interesting when you get Titans before you go to the game. You can just pick him up straight away.
Well, he's going to get the abbreviated tour. Just going to watch us do all this work for him in his front lawn, knocking all these pegs down. We're finding a lot of bottles.
It doesn't hurt to have extra safety. It's just they can't really buy in potions because they don't have any money. So luckily for them, they find bottles that already has potions.
Well, we're going to have some kind of smiths today. We're finding out 45 minutes into the seed that our smiths today are cash smiths.
That's normally not really important, but this time, this time it's actually a little bit hype to get some money.
Yeah, we are just 3 rupees away, folks, from being able to access Palace of Darkness. I've never watched prize packs so closely.
Yeah, this has been a little bit ridiculous so far on the money. So hopefully they can dig up some money here.
I get the feeling we're going to see an archery minigame in this seed.
That would be interesting. I'm not sure if I would be brave enough to do it because I would probably lose more money than I would gain. Yeah, DarkLink having the right idea here, just digging some more for some extra money.
Like, when am I going to get another shovel at this price ever again? He actually recovers all of his rupees almost.
Yeah, it's good. It's gonna need 30 for the chess game, and could very well get like 100 rupees or something from that, but that's definitely not guaranteed. So SDiezal has 500 rupees now and can go up to Sora.
Well, that fairy there is trolling SDiezal a little bit. He is just moments away from re-entering poor mode.
Yeah, luckily he won't need any money quite yet, because the dig game was nothing of importance. It was the blue boomerang, but it's definitely not a guaranteed required item. It's just an item you can use sometimes for... Ooh, powder.
Well, that's definitely a valuable purchase.
Yeah, the powder is a great safety, and it does unlock one more location as well, which our runners have access to.
Also, I believe someone says that we've just seen Sanctuary Heart. I didn't catch it myself. We got a fire rod in the first chest of Thieves Town. Looks like this run is on fire.
Yeah, and we can do the green pennant now. Yay! Actually, wow. Okay, we have everything we need to do pendant to the rock now as well.
Two-handed strats. Oh, wait a second. What's going on with SDiezal here?
Yeah, they got the hammer.
He may have had a moment, and I don't blame him. I have actually had this moment myself. And you know what? Actually, it was Magic Bat for me behind a... it was a hammer behind Magic Bat.
Oh yeah, that's always a little bit interesting when you have to use a mirror to get to Magic Bat.
My heart goes out to SDiezal, and I appreciate that you're continuing this race. But in other news, we have two-handed strats +1 activated here in Thieves Town. We have both rods.
Yeah, we have both rods, and technically we actually do have everything to complete the pendants, if that's... I know that Chad is always looking out for that, so
So I believe that makes bow and logic. I believe that makes lamp. No, lamp can't.
Yeah. I just realized technically we need a lamp as well to complete that rod.
But it could be bow. Or shovel that leads to bow. Or mushroom that leads to shovel that leads to bow.
Yeah, you're actually on point. The bow is the only thing we're missing for no mode. That's interesting because we haven't done a lot in the Dark World yet.
Also, did I just miss a God Pixel from DarkLink?
I am not sure, to be honest. I might have missed it as well.
Well, here's the moment when SDiezal probably feels like it's pretty much GG for him. He's at least going to feel that way, because, I mean, when you're gone that long from having rupees, he's got to know that his opponent would have been farming as well.
Yeah, I think just to start, when you miss the boots, that alone like makes you feel a little bit behind, and then this on top of that, it's not going to be a good feeling, at the very least.
Well, brace for potential rage here. There's that lift upgrade and his Master Sword, so he's going to save and quit, and he's keeping himself composed. I'm impressed, SDiezal. You were a braver man than I am. We get to see some nice sword beam strats for a moment there on Blind. Getting a little off script on the fight. Not a big deal, though. Lots of health to work with. Plenty of damage to deal.
Yeah, for sure. Also has decay in worst case scenario, but that's not needed.
And I believe that should have been a full completion.
Yeah, I think so. I think the small key was even locked in the big chest. It's always nice when you can skip one location, make the dungeon a little bit faster.
Well, with that done, I gotta think Skull Woods is at least looking like a place you can find some items. I mean,
you can do the
probably
your desert combo as well. Both of them are crystals.
Yeah, so being able to do them in one fell swoop, a really nice way to just clear out the entire area in one pass.
Yeah, with this item setup, and you're only looking for bow, I wouldn't be surprised to see DarkLink just go and do all the crystals, and if they still haven't found the bow at that point, then they might think about doing something else. Oh, and SDiezal being 2 rupees away from doing that chess game and getting the powder.
Well, foiled again by small amounts of rupees this time. Oh, that is a Sanctuary Heart. That is confirmed in the Bombable Hut. Folks, at 53 minutes and 22 seconds, I have finally confirmed that DarkLink already picked up the Sanctuary Heart in that chest. Very important news bulletin.
For sure. And there's 20 rupees. That's enough to do the chess game.
Well, we have the boots, which makes desert pretty trivial, and the mirror as well. This is about as fast as this dungeon can get.
Yeah, you got a pretty slow start of the game because of the money issue, but you got all of the items to make your routing as efficient as possible in the dark mode, so gotta take the good with the bad, I guess.
Well, it looks like SDiezal has that exact mentality. He's back into, he's now into Thieves Town, and he's clearing through pretty fast. I gotta think that if if SDiezal has more experience with the execution, say, in NMG style, he may be able to gain quite a bit of time back just on how he approaches these dungeons.
Yeah, and if the bow is not locked by the tightness mates and they decide to do spawn later on, they could potentially have Titans as go mode instead of bow. So that could keep them away from doing a lot of like full clearing, a lot of stuff that might not be required.
And of course, we saw on DarkLink's side when he picked up those Titans myths is that he actually dove right to the back and gambled on the left side. So SDiezal could also make that same gamble and, you know, do perfectly well to not lose as much time spending it in Swamp Palace in the first place. SDiezal just 1 pixel off of his perfect hellway, actually down to 1 heart of health. Oh no.
Yeah, but doing some good dodges there to keep away from the danger, but it's not over quite yet. They have a red potion, I believe, so they can use that if needed.
He might be trying to be a show-off, but in the meantime, DarkLink's taken down Lamolus, about to be in his 3rd cycle. Looks like spicy barbacoa for desert. Dessert. I don't know. I did that wrong.
So SDiezal not having the tempered is not going to matter too much in this dungeon. It's not going to be able to one-shot all of the enemies, but it's going to make the fight against blind take just as long as tempered would have. Because it's the number of hits that matters on blind, not the actual damage from the swords. So interesting, DarkLink deciding to go to Ice Palace instead of doing Misermeyer, even though they were already in the area and had the portal. And ooh, SDiezal unfortunately taking a death while approaching the Maiden's chest.
It's a tough place to die. You know, he didn't make it all the way to there, so he didn't get to check that item, but he's got to make a decision if he wants to go through all this dungeon again. Thankfully, he does, though, so he's going to finish this off. Not going to have to dive this twice.
Yeah, at the very least, they already bombed the floor in the attic, so they won't have to do that part again.
Oh, looking at the race room, it does look like SDiezal has chosen to forfeit. Just simply mentioning that he's feeling a little bit tilted from how the seeds kind of treated him, which we don't blame him, man. This has been a crazy seed. Like, the nutsness of having to do all that farming with, like, no power glove. And while we do know on our side that, you know, there's definitely opportunity for him in this race, I definitely understand where he's coming from.
Yeah, it's definitely understandable. It's been a very rough seed in the beginning, and especially the way things played out for SDiezal.
Well, with that forfeit in mind, DLDarkLink does still have to complete the seed in order to get his victory. So presuming that he does accomplish that, he will be rising to 4 and 3 here, possibly being in contention for one of the 2 slots that are available as far as tie breaks work for getting into the elimination bracket. SDiezal will, of course, follow 3 and 4.
So we're gonna get SDiezal in here to talk a little bit about the seed in just a moment. And yeah, as you mentioned, there is a possibility for 2 4-3 runners to get into the brackets. I haven't checked DarkLink's tiebreakers before the match, but there's gonna be a lot of 4-free runners, and only the two with the best tiebreakers can move on to the next phase. So it's gonna be tough. And we're joined by SDiezal. So do you want to share your thoughts about the seed?
I don't know what else there is to say besides this is probably the worst seed I've ever played.
It's brutal. It's absolutely horrible to play through. I mean, like,
no, there's no, like, first off, you have to have fun playing this game, and right from the start, like, there's no fun having any enjoyment whatsoever in this seed. This is absolutely terrible. To have to farm for Zora and not have a logical farming besides Thieves' Hut, like, there's no way around this being an enjoyable seed. So, like, DarkLink can easily have the win on this one. I have more enjoyment like backing out of this seed than anything.
Yeah, it was definitely rough at the beginning with the money issue that both of you stumbled across.
Did he get a bomb and escape, by the way?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he
Okay,
did.
yeah. So that was part one of this being a terrible seed, and then part two of the seed making us farm for Zora without like a logical farm. Like I couldn't do Houlihan. I couldn't do like I could have done Houlihan if I had not grabbed the flippers before getting them. I can't even remember where I got them. I could have done the Houlihan strat there, and then I had to like sit there and think for at least 5 to 10 minutes where is the most logical place for me to farm rupees, and I eventually settled on the 6 pots and in the Thieves' Hut. So
we were kind of thinking it was going to be tree pulls, but I think 2 of them might have been bomb drops.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of hoping on as well, is the first tree pull near the Death Mountain entrance, and it was bombs, and I didn't even want to find out what the other prize pack was, so I figured the next best spot would be in the bomb hut in the bottom left of Kakariko, but the rats weren't giving me anything either, and there's only green rupees under those pots there, so that was going to take forever. And then I just eventually settled on Thieves' Hut. So.
Yeah, I can't really think of any other major rupee deposits. I mean, that's pretty much the only one that's going to get you anything reliably. You did show us all the different places that you can find some rupees, though. I mean, well, you know, like the Bombable Hut, like you mentioned. So we got to actually talk about a lot of different mechanics that don't really come up too often. But, you know, I mean, we definitely fell for you. And I'm sure Chad and, of course, Walther agrees, you know, that we're definitely in your corner. It just stinks to have that happen.
Yeah, like it's very like extreme to say when somebody says this is the worst seed they've ever played, especially when you've done like 400 plus seeds. This is the worst seed I've ever played, hands down. So, good luck to DarkLink on whatever the rest of this seed gives them. But yeah, the death here in Thieves, just that was icing on the cake. So.
Well, it was definitely, you know, an interesting watch. I'm sure you'll probably watch the VOD just to see, you know, where things kind of like split off between.
Yeah, I'd like to forget this ever.
As I'm saying, you're probably gonna watch.
So yeah, thanks for the commentary. Thanks for the restream. Sorry, the seed was terrible, and yeah.
Yeah, we appreciate the show that you put on for us, even though, you know, it ended up this way. And folks, you know, definitely want to shout out, you know, SDiezal for, you know, bearing with it for that long. Honestly, I would have thrown in a towel a lot sooner than that. You should give these guys a follow.
I thought about it so many times, like, and once I knew that Zora had the next item for progression, and I realized there was no other way to get there besides farming the most tedious way. Like that's when I thought about, like, this just isn't worth it. Like, this is no longer fun. This is just the worst experience ever. And yeah, like there was many points there where it just felt like it wasn't worth going forward. So.
Well, I want to ask you, you know, obviously this run has been kind of, well, this run through the Swiss, you know, rounds has been kind of rough. You have a lot of difficult opponents. You know, I mean, do you plan on doing another randomizer tournament in the near future, maybe like in fall?
Oh yeah, I definitely plan on doing. I'm assuming the fall tournament, if they follow the same structure, it'll be open. So yeah, I'll be in the next tournament for sure. But yeah, I'm definitely not going to stop here. I've been in all the tourneys so far, so definitely going to continue to keep going.
Well, it was fun previously in the NMG tourney to commentate with you. It's I'm hoping to get another chance like that here, maybe in this tournament.
Yeah, definitely, dude. Absolutely. I'll do some more commentary. I might be able to hop into the remaining NMG tourneys commentaries as well. So, yeah, it was fun. Just this seed alone was just, yeah, some very not nice words for it that I'll keep for myself.
Well, there is a bit of new information we just received watching DarkLink in Skull Woods. He actually found the bow there, so...
oh, nice.
I want to say, is that go?
That should put him in go mode, but he's still clearing Skull Woods, so I'm not sure if we're maybe missing something. He might be wanting the lamp for Meyer.
Yeah, if you haven't tuned into the restream yet, SDiezal, just to kind of see where he's at, he's got Desert Palace, Swamp Palace. Swamp Palace, actually, Argus had the Titan's Mids.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so this has been kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, not a fan. That's all I'm going to say. But yeah, thanks for the commentary, guys. I appreciate it. And thanks for restreaming as well. So.
Yeah, and thanks for participating in the seed and in the tournament as a whole as well.
Yep, absolutely. All right, I'm going to hop off, but thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you joining us. Thank you.
See you.
And GG. Well, so that was, I got a feel for him. That's brutal to go through.
Yeah, I can definitely sympathize with that.
Well, so just to review regarding possible go mode here, we're seeing some question marks in chat about it. The Profe Gamer who shared comments with me earlier, thank you by the way, asking that question. I can't think of anything else we need at the moment.
Yeah, the only thing I could think about is the lamp. If they want it for Meyer, that's one of the rougher dark rooms to do, especially if you haven't trained it. And another possibility would be that they might not realize that they're in go mode right now. It happens sometimes.
Well, with that though, DarkLink is still looking for his lamp. It appears that he does want to have that for his dark rooms. And truth be told, I mean, you can have a dark room map open on your screen if you'd like to, on your computer, for example. Some people do have to go and do that. He doesn't really have any real hurry at this point now that his opponent's forfeited, so he can probably afford to be a little bit more diligent with his checks here.
Yeah, and knowing that you have to look for the lamp does a couple of interesting things, because you know that no dark rooms can lead to the lamp. It still means that the lantern could be in Meyer though, because all the items checks except for Vitreous is before the dark rooms.
Equipped as we are though, we know there's an item at Armos Knights. We know that, you know, Palace of Darkness, well, that's probably the worst one to... I don't know. I mean, would you do those dark rooms?
Me personally, I would probably do all the dark rooms, including Aga, I think, if it meant I was in go mode, because they do have like the fire rod, so most of the dark rooms is going to be easier than normally. But the Meyer dark room is probably the roughest one, because it doesn't get easier with the fire rod, and you do have enemies attacking you, so like I gotta figure that's what we're looking for right now.
Well, there's a possibility here of Palace of Darkness dive, but we're going to see the pyramid first.
Yeah, Palace of Darkness makes sense. There's a number of items before the dark rooms, which can be the lamp, and you have like potions and the fire rod, so you can probably try to do the dark rooms, even if you're not like super comfortable with them. You have enough health that maybe you can do them anyways.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's pretty resilient right now at 14 hearts, just an hour and 10 minutes into the seed. Kind of curious as to where he's going here. It almost looks like Skull Woods.
Yeah, it might be. It's the green pendant, so if they want to go to Pod and Eastern area, they can just do Skull Woods first and then return the pendant. But might be a purple chest and powder instead.
Seems like your instincts are serving you correctly here today, Walter. We're seeing both of those things first. Well, we're going to drop down here into the Magic Bat Cave. We have not been here yet, so we're going to see what this item is today.
Oh, well, that's it's not a lamp, but it doesn't hurt to have.
I can't believe it's not half magic.
Yeah, right. Where's those vanilla items?
But with that, he's going to pick up his purple chest, having the fluid and all the best equipment to, take it there. Not going to take him too long to get over there, but he may be opting to... Did we already check Cave 45?
I think we should have done it at this point, because he did have the mirror when he passed by it the first time, but it's possible that they might have forgotten it and just gonna check it now. Oh, maybe we didn't do Stumpy instead.
Yeah, that would make some sense. Yeah, 300 rupees, wow. Yeah, the rupees are all locked into the Dark World, it appears.
Yeah, funny how that works sometimes.
Well, with that flute, we do get to save ourselves a little bit of walking. Basically one screen transition. I don't know, it's a little faster. Not by much, but we're going to turn it in today for a bomb bag upgrade. Where do you think he's going to go next?
Well, depending on where he fluted, I would assume the Dark Death Mountain, but I think that's probably the best location anyways, to be honest. There's a lot of items up here, and you could even go into Turt Rock if you want to. There's a lot of chests there before the Dark Room as well.
Bowlabows in chat asking about why SDiezal forfeited. It's been a ridiculous seed. And it got to the point where, SDiezal kind of felt like, hey, this is honestly not very fun. And I respect that decision. Like, if you're legit just not enjoying playing the game because of how ridiculous the game is, like, I don't fault you. People stop and reset their NMG runs, for example, for a reason. You want to make sure you're keeping your head above, water in that regard. You don't want to, like, brute force your way through something and just feel like, oh man, I wasted my time.
Yeah, they had to farm almost 300 rupees for Sora without the gloves, without hula hand possibility. That's pretty rough, and there was a couple of other unfortunate missteps that happened for SDiezal as well. It kind of tipped the balance as well.
Yeah, so like the missed bomb and escape leading to boots, having the flute behind that, and then, flippers in Nagina's cave making it impossible to farm Houlihan. And on top of that, no power glove to farm with. I mean, it was really rough.
So we got nothing here in the overworld checks in Dark Death Mountain. We do have both Tedrock and I do believe we have both items in Hera as well, or maybe we saw one of them, but we definitely haven't seen both at least.
Well, interestingly enough, DarkLink is gonna flute to 8. Gonna flute to 5. Looks like Palace of Darkness then.
Yeah, maybe they just decided to, well, I checked the overworld stuff. I'm not gonna full clear every single dungeon just to search for it. Or at the very least, you can search for it in the dungeons that you're gonna have to complete sooner or later.
Well, this time around, now that we found a couple of these Dark World rupee stashes, not gonna have to worry about Kiki the monkey. Before, though, that was actually a real concern.
Yeah, when they entered the Dark World, they had basically no rupees at all. Couldn't even do the dig game at the first attempt.
DarkLink does a good job of getting Kiki a little bit closer to make that cutscene faster. So thankfully, because we found the bow in a relatively easy to access location in the Dark World, once we had the hammer or the Titan's Mints, doesn't matter whether or not this has a bow lock progression here, but we will find out a little bit more about the dungeon.
Oh my god, you gotta be kidding me. Well, that's definitely go mode now.
We saw a few happy little slashes there.
Yeah, I can only assume that those were of pure happiness of actually being in go mode now.
Just the immediate visceral reaction.
Yeah, that's
and it's even better with the gold sword. Like, it just sounds a lot louder.
Yeah, it's an interesting placement to have a lamp, I'll tell you that much.
Well, at this point, not a lot to stick around for it here. We gotta find that big key and get going. No such thing yet, but we have the hammer to make the routing here better.
Yeah, the rest of the dungeons should be fairly quick to go through. It's the big key in this dungeon and the big key in Meyer that can slow DarkLink down a little bit. Eastern, we already have the big key, so it just has to go to the back straight away.
Well, we are finding keys, just not the one that we want.
Yeah, one of these chests at least is guaranteed not to be a small key. Or not guaranteed, but it's very likely not to be a small key.
Well, thankfully DarkLink didn't bonk into the wall there. That would have set up one of those stair glitches where you walk up and down them constantly. Finding a piece of heart, not that big key though.
Yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate, and I do believe this is going to be a small key.
Well, 3 keys in, we have quite a few chests actually still in the rest of this dungeon. I mean, it doesn't exactly hurt him to check anything. He could get red mail, but I don't think that's really on his plate right now. We have everything we could really want at this point.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna be sad to see the red mail or half magic. But yeah, as soon as they get their big key, they're probably just gonna head to the front again to go to Helmosar instead. There's another small key.
This man knows how to find every key but that key.
Yeah. Well, such is the way of Palace of Darkness.
Yeah, you're not kidding.
So, good news is we have all the small keys now, so next key is guaranteed to be the big key.
Well, it's going to be the harmless Hellway today.
And there it is.
In fact, it is. I'm still kind of shocked at how many rupees DarkLink has right now.
Yeah, he found 2 300s, I think. Also picked up an additional rupees in the blue rupee room there, where they got all the small keys.
All the small keys? Is that a Blink 182 song?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a Link 182 song.
Ah, yes, a Link 182. I forgot about that. They made a change to their name. Well, say it ain't so. We are in go mode. Helmasaur King here, though. We got some turtle rooms. Thankfully, we have sword beams, so one less menu here. You know, I think it's a little rude to be buttering the turtles, but, you know, to each their own. Definitely not the dietary thing I would recommend for Link. But we will have Helmasaur King here, and we're going to smack him around with a plastic hammer.
Yep.
It's going to take 17 hits for us to de-crown the guy? I don't know. Is that his face or is that his crown? This is like the Aghanim argument all over again.
I've never really thought about it, to be honest. I always thought of this as his mask. But he is a king, so a crown makes more sense, I guess.
Not like this. Not like this. But he will explode into absolute C4 destruction here. I'm gonna leave us behind a burrito that actually he was heating up. And that is our other 5-6 crystal, I believe. Oh no, that's just the palette being wrong. But we do pick up one of our crystals, though. We still need the Eastern Palace, which we'll mirror to in a moment, and Misery Mire before we head up against Tower.
Yeah, and even though the start was pretty slow, this is gonna turn out to be a pretty fast seed.
Which I have to commend DLDarkLink for managing to make this quick. I mean, he's basically made some really fantastic guesses as far as item locations go, particularly the Titan's Mitts and Swamp Palace.
Yeah, the mitts in Palace was an excellent find. I mean, even if they managed to get the bow before getting the mitts, just having the mitts as go mode overall is pretty good as well, because they block so many items and areas in the game.
Well, no more dark rooms from here on out. We are going to just kill an Igor here. We're not even going to use the bow, though. We don't need that. Gold sword is more than enough. So a little bit of misinformation in chat about what really went with what happened with this race. Just to briefly summarize this again, we had a couple of things that kind of went wrong for SDiezal in his race. He missed a bomb and escape, which is rough. That led to boots, and those boots led to the library, which was flute. There's also flippers in Agina's cave, and because of that combination of items and no power glove, Zora, which had hammer, ended up being like ridiculous to farm for. Between that and a death in Thieves Town, I think SDiezal was just kind of done with it, and I can relate to him on that one.
Yeah, for sure.
Well then, the Armos Knights practicing up their literacy. Unfortunately, though, we're not going to check the pedestal for posterity here.
Yeah, 6 armors, but only 1 book.
Maybe that's why they're always jumping around. They're just trying to poke around each other's, shoulders, try and read the book at the same time.
Yeah, it could very well be so. It would be interesting if every single random seed had like a canon story behind where all the items were placed.
Honestly, I think we need to get Runner Watcher in here for that one. Ooh, and we have a Ether here for Mr. Meyer. Is today the day? Are we going to get a bird toss?
I do believe we're going to get it. We have the perfect placement for the bird to do it.
Get your hype in chat, folks. Is it a big day today? It's a big day. Shout out to Walrus Prime, the progenitor of that one. This is the part where the crowd goes wild. Moving forward, though, into Meyer 2. Having a little trouble with these Wizrobe cycles, but getting through without losing too much health.
Yeah, they didn't have any sword beams, but seeing that we got that bird toss, I think they were happy enough to lose the sword beams over that.
1000% worth it. I endorse that strat. Looks like we're not going to see a Godmire today.
Yeah, that's one of the interesting things with Meyer. Sometimes it's super fast in go mode, and sometimes it's just another full clear.
Yeah, worst case scenario is going all the way back to the vanilla big key chest. That's actually looking pretty possible here. You know, personally, I don't see the point of killing this dungeon's boss. But thankfully, we have a lot of eyeballs glued to the screen, you know, for that fight.
Yeah. Hey, what do you know? There's red mail after all.
I gotta admit, is this like Pajama Link? Because, I mean, this is a pretty good looking red nail sprite.
It kind of looks like it. I guess all of Link's outfits kind of look like a pajamas if you really think about it. But...
Well, definitely a comfortable, you know, equipment to have, so it seems suiting. And the bomb slugs here are nowhere near as dangerous as they normally would be, only doing 1 heart of damage instead of 4.
And here we see a super compelling cinematic cutscene.
Yeah, folks, this is part of the reason that it got 9s and 10s out of 10s. You know, in all the major publications, this was one of the most important graphical scenes of the era. This was, of course, before the Super FX chip, and I'm sure it shows. Gotta be honest with you, though, I always thought the Mode 7 graphics for the map were pretty impressive back then.
I don't think I'm old enough to remember back then, but I'll just agree with you.
Fair enough. But we're moving on to the basement. Based on what we saw from how DarkLink got to this point, didn't look like he was trying to set up any kind of the new spooky action glitch we've been seeing. Although he can potentially set it up in the the next room with the crystal switch.
Seeing how DarkLink does more rando than the vanilla NMG run, they might not have practiced it as much as an NMG runner might have done.
That's pretty fair to say. It's been adopted by some of the highest level runners, you know, like the people who are 6-1 and 7-0. You know, they're pretty quick to pick it up, and including even the NMG runners in this tournament that's concurrently running right now. But otherwise, yeah, a lot of people have not really put much time into it. Myself included, I actually still only barely pull it off at all. But we have silver arrows, red mail, 15 hearts, and a quiver more than we need for this fight. I'm hoping we get this quick zero cycle out of the way. Blink and you might miss him.
I'm sorry I blinked. What happened?
You missed him.
Ah. Just in case as well.
Did we just get eyelashes?
I guess, yeah.
Or no, eyelids. Forgive me.
So that puts DarkLink at 7 crystals.
Yes, so you know what that means, right?
It means that we're supposed to play some kind of a game.
Well, tell us about it, please.
Well, there's 22 locations in Ganon's Tower where the big key can be, and we want to see if you can guess the right number for the item location. So we're gonna go by the numbers that DarkLink picks them up. So that's a guess between 1 and 22. And if you're a subscriber to any of the speed gaming channels or have donated 250 bits, you are you can get on our leaderboard if you're correct. So speaking of guessing, where do you think the big key is going to be?
Well, I know my previous co-commentator, Profe Gamer, is in chat, and he's definitely going to take 14, which is traditionally Bob's chest if you go right then left for the first 2 chests and then left all the way. So I'm open for 21 today, actually. I was one off with my 22 guess before, so I'm hoping for it. What about you, Walter?
I'm not sure. Like, usually I just pick a random number because we're playing randomized after all. But
Fair.
thinking maybe to take a specific guess this time. So you said 22 last race and you were one off, so let's say 22 then.
Oh no, I just got prices righted. Alright, well in that case, folks, last couple of seconds here to get your guesses in. Actually, from stream delay, you're probably going to miss it, but we're going to cut this off as soon as we have entered the basement, which will be approximately when you see him enter. Alright, we're cutting that off. Chest number 1 today is the big key.
Well, you were one guess closer than I was.
So wait, don't I? Oh no, it's closest without going over. Price is Right doesn't work that way. Ah. Unfortunately for DarkLink, we can't just go right up the stairs. We do have to get a small key, so he's going to go to that corner and head right upstairs. Congratulations for your closest to the correct guess of 10 from Motorsport. You are our winner today.
I don't think I've ever seen a winner being that far off.
Oh my god. Well, congratulations on your place on the leaderboards. I hope that your next guess is a little closer. You'll stand a better chance of winning in most races.
Yeah, believe in the jet seas, I guess. Or the god dungeons might be a better term to put it.
I mean, 10 was still a pretty fast guess anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, DarkLink's already making pretty fast progress through here and through this part of the gauntlet, doing pretty well to throw some pots and use a little bit of arrow strats as well. Gold Sword, Red Mail makes this pretty trivial.
Yeah, there's no worries about your safety in the climb. You even have the powder to get some checkpoints on the way.
Ooh, real close with that stealth post a couple times with arrows, but just gonna end up slashing him to finish him off. Lamolus 2 here should be a pretty interesting fight.
Yeah, so going for the attacks with the butter sword here, 2 hits on each Lamolus is enough to take them down. And there goes the last one.
Moving on forward, we're going to take great advantage of the King of Samaria. Also want to point out we have full Y item completion as far as the inventory slots go. We do not actually have shovel or mushroom though. I also don't think we've seen any other shield upgrades, let alone the Red Ring.
Yeah, I do believe that's right. Might be hanging out in Totorock or something.
I gotta say, shout-outs to OSS Geek, who is our tracker today. Also has the most photogenic cats in the Discord. Definitely worth checking out. But more importantly, for keeping up with this race, this has been just a lot of items. And I can't believe how fast DarkLink has been able to get through this for what we've seen so far.
Yeah, definitely massive shoutouts to Osgeek, and this has been, yeah, it's been an interesting seed, and having this time being in the top parts of Ganon's Tower with everything this seed throwed against you.
Unfortunately for DarkLink, you cannot fire rod the mini Helmosaurs. That will not kill them.
So the only thing I can see DarkLink like kicking himself a little bit about this race is probably looking for that lantern, because if they went to Paul like straight away, they could have saved quite some time.
Yeah, this could have been an even faster seed than we I mean, it's crazy that, like, a seed with that kind of farming involved, I mean, tons of farming in Escape, tons of farming after Escape, you know, getting locked out of good farming locations. And Hooligan could have been possible. I mean, this definitely could have been an extremely fast seed if someone just had God Vision and knew they needed the Zora money. But it's just nuts to see that this is, you know, potentially sub 140, you know, a fast time. It's nuts to me.
Yeah,
well, it looks like... Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. I was just gonna say it would have been quite a gamble to like do Houlihan when Zora wasn't even in logic and you had so many other things to check at that point.
Yeah, so like there's just no easy way to win on that one. Well, we have the Geometry Wizard. The Profit Gamer in our last race talking about the Trigonomenon. I don't even know, man. He just came up with some crazy way to wrap trigonometry into agonim, but doing pretty well here with the Sokotoa.
Yeah, it's a very good Agaphite, so we don't have the Big Pig himself left.
I'm sorry, did you say Whizpig?
Let's say that I did.
I can't believe the Diddy Kong Racing tournament's over. I gotta rewatch some of those VODs. But we are moving on to the Ganon fight. Well, DarkLink's Ganon here asking us the important questions about eating and snacking in the dark or in the middle of the night. He's going to very easily 1-in-1 cycle this, though. He's even going to get extra slashes in, because why not? He's actually taking quite a lot of damage, but he is in phase 3 here.
Yeah, and having the red mail, he can afford to take a couple of hits. He should still have the red potion as well, so should not be too much of an issue, concerning his hearts at least.
Well, we definitely found the arrows at Death Mountain, but we're more focused on making sure that torch is lit, and then we can pop a bunch of arrows into Ganon here. We need 4 to finish him off, so just 3 more to go here.
Yes, a 2 down, 2 to go.
Oh, did he just get a perfect slash on that?
Like, it kind of looked like it, I'm not sure. But either way, Ganon is down. So, sparing your GGs in chat for DLDarkLink. This has been a very different scene, so to speak. They got through it and finished with a official time of
140 flat.
Yeah, 140 exactly.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to jump on you there. I was just shocked.
Yeah, it was good because I just realized I didn't have the race room up.
Yeah, 1 hour and 40 minutes flat, right on the nose. So I'm stunned that we were able to finish it this quickly. GG's in chat, as Walter has mentioned. Hopefully we can get DLDarkLink in here for an interview. I'm curious as to his thoughts about this race. I don't see him in the server. Well, let me see if I can invite him here real quick. Or perhaps you're already on that.
Yeah, we'll see if he decides to join us. Looks like his mic is apparently not working, unfortunately.
Alrighty, well, with that in mind, then we'll let these credits play out for a little bit and talk a little bit more about what's to come here. I'm looking at the schedule for tonight. Just gonna hit the refresh on that real quick. So it looks like coming up ahead on Speed Gaming, we're gonna have a match at 11 p.m. We're talking about matches that haven't started yet, of course, and that's gonna be the last one that'll be a fresh start for tonight. Right now, though, we have several matches going on. I Am the Schwartz versus Silly Kyle 22 has been on Speed Gaming 2. That might be reaching its conclusion. We're also looking at JTB versus Hacksaw starting just 44 minutes ago on Speed Gaming 3. As far as tomorrow goes, we haven't seen the restream schedule yet, but we're looking at matches starting as soon as 10 a.m. I don't know if it'll get a restream or not, all the way until 8 p.m. And that's the last day of the Swiss qualifier. I don't know if you want, it's not a bracket, but I mean, it's just huge. It's 500 plus people.
Yeah. And we do have DLDarkLink in the chat, so if you have any questions to him, feel free to write them up, I guess. And GG's, DLDarkLink. This was quite a seed that you two had to go through.
Yeah, I'm very impressed by both of our players today. I mean, SDiezal literally went through some of the worst possible ALTTP randomizer, situations. My heart goes out to the guy. I mean, I've commentated with him in the MG tournament as well. He's a good guy. Definitely recommend you give both of these guys a follow. Obviously, DLDarkLink does have a shot at that tiebreak scenario. And even if not, I'm sure he's going to continue playing Randomizer moving forward. And SDiezal has been playing Randomizer for quite a long time as well. And of course, in the NMG community. So they have lots of Zelda content for you if you wanted to see more of that. However, though, if you want to catch the rest of this tournament and every single match that's going to be restreamed, my recommendation is, one, join the tournament Discord if you want to see the schedule for yourself. Maybe do some multi-Twitch if you don't see a restream. But also follow Speed Gaming and Speed Gaming 2 through 6 to see the commentary overlaid on that on the restreams, which is probably the best way to watch it. And of course, ALTTP Randomizer and ALTTP Randomizer 2 through 4 as well.
Yeah, well said. There's definitely, even though the Swiss is about to come to an end this week, there's still going to be a lot of tournament left to get through.
So since we're waiting a little bit on this, credit sequence, Walter, are you familiar with the format of the elimination brackets?
Yeah, so as far as I believe, there's going to be a random seeding against your opponent. So it's not going to be like a seeding on who had the best records in the tournament, and it's going to be a best of 3 in the brackets, and the winner of those best of 3s goes forward to the next round of brackets, and it's going to continue like that. I do believe it works like that.
From what I've heard, that seems to be the case, and I'm very interested to see how our runners in this tournament are going to change up their strategies, knowing that they can potentially be a little riskier in their first and second matches. They can afford to give up 1 in their series. So that may actually have a big impact on what kinds of plays we see our runners make.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be interesting, and we're also going to be joined in the brackets with the runners who already qualified. There was a couple of ones, the top 8 from the fall tournament and the top 4 from the secondary fall tournament, I think.
Yep, those folks are grandfathered in, having earned their way in blood, I suppose. Having climbed to the top of their respective tournaments, time for them to give them a decent shot and reward them for obviously having put in so much effort to qualify for this tournament. So we've only reserved 12 spaces for those folks out of the 500 and a million people this tournament seems to be. And it's been really nice to get to know everybody as well. This community has really grown through experience like this. So I would definitely want to shout out to the audience. You guys are why this is possible. I appreciate all of you tuning in and showing up to these races. Part of the reason that we can put so many on is more people are watching and more people are getting involved.
Yeah, for sure. Major shout outs to chat. Everyone is active in chat, but also everyone who's just watching and not being doesn't have to be active. Like you're the part, one of the big parts that these tournaments is happening, and one of the big parts why this community is growing so fast as well.
Well, if you would like to, play a Link to the Past randomizer, if you'd like to get into this, if you see some intrigue, if you like the logic, if you like the tension and the drama of these tournaments, or think you have a chance at being competitive yourself, we posted a link here in the chat, or a few links that are actually very helpful for doing so. I'll also post another one leading to the Link to the Past practice hack. Very good if you want to try the speed run as well. Very useful if you want to get better at your execution of the game. A great stepping stone into kind of getting into this particular type of game style. But this has been really fun to pick up for a lot of people, and I definitely encourage all of you out there to give it a try.
Yeah, for sure. My mind was kind of blown when I saw the fall tournament that this was a thing, and it's just been a blast ever since.
Well, it's always fun to see these stats at the very end as well. We don't always have, we're usually kind of going through an interview, but 21 bonks. DarkLink not really wasting a lot of time on that. You gotta love that 347 menu time, though.
Yeah, number 1 on the big key, and collection rate, very good, 139. As well as the stats on like the swords and the mirror boost and all that. All of them were around 10 minutes at the very highest.
Well, it's been absolutely wild to watch this one, just for how crazy the seed treated our runners. I think I've shared just about all the thoughts I have on this matter, though. I also wanted to thank you, Walter, for joining me. I know we had weird thing the other day, but I'm just happy that I got a chance to finally commentate with you. The deep, rich, velvety bass voice of Walter the Fourth.
I wouldn't call it that deep, but thank you. And it's been really fun commentating with you as well. I promise that next time I will up my game on some new puns to figure out.
I mean, I think you were pontificating perfectly fine. With that, though, I think there's a stage left I should be exiting. I think we'll probably tie a knot in this one. Any final thoughts you want to share with everybody else here in the audience?
Not really. We'll see you the next time, and I'm looking forward to see the brackets.
Likewise, same here. So I have been Uday Monistic, joined today by Walter the Fourth, and folks, we'll see you next mission.